Hey, welcome to Munchin' with the Mitchells,
where we munch on some food and talk about some unsolved murder mysteries. Today's episode, and our very first one ever,
is the Susan Cappel Wolff story.
We're doing it close to home to kick this season off right with some little Tuscarawas County psychoness.
That is Ohio. Okay, so Susan Cappel was 19 years old when she went missing after her shift at the local IGA in Newcomerstown, Ohio.
She was born on March 30th of 1962, and she went missing on March 16th of 1982.
Okay, so it is said to believed that her estranged husband, Alan Cappel, had something to do with her disappearance. Her body wasn't found yet, so we don't know if she's dead or alive. There's a couple different theories. One theory was that Alan killed her, or he paid some of his friends to kill her. Two of his friends were
killed like 2 weeks after she went missing. The Parrish boys, Patrick, Rick Parrish, and Robert Parrish.
It was said that
somebody
their car ran them off the road, and then the accident was fatal. So they were unable to be questioned by the detectives.
They did have a third passenger in there. His name was Lonnie Joe Hanshaw. We don't know if it was just like the wrong time, wrong place, wrong time type of thing with him.
Or did he know something too?
Yeah.
We don't know.
And it was a triple homicide.
And, okay, so Susan left, just vanished, leaving her son, which was a little over a year old. What mother does that? You don't just leave. She left with no money, no ID, nothing. She got off her shift, and as she was walking to her parents' car, a blue Plymouth Satellite or something pulled in, which one of the Parrish boys had a car very similar. She talked to the driver very briefly, and then she got in, and one of her co-workers gave this statement to the authorities.
But I think that person was paid off. Because
not that one. The one later that said they seen her sitting in the car with Alan.
I think that woman too might have got paid off too, because after everything that we learned, and like this is from our hometown, so like everybody knows everybody, because like our population with the 4 towns put together is maybe like 1,000 people.
Yes.
So everybody knows everybody, and everybody has their own.
And the Parrish boys were from the little town of Gilmore, and after her disappearance, and then them thinking that the Parrish boys had some kind of involvement, the authorities and search parties searched all the hills of Gilmore.
The Parrish property in Gilmore, and
all the other hills, the valleys, the caves, all that.
But we just learned too that Alan Cappel
had connections with the Hilton Meat Market
at that time.
What if he killed her and grinded her up and sold her? How do you know? Because where is she then?
Her body was never found, and I think that would be another Carol Baskin story, except for
tiger.
And Alan's Carol chopping people up and stuff. I mean, it's not unheard of. Everyone does it.
But it is also said that Alan killed her and buried her in a well. Sorry. But, okay. And then keep going. But anyway, stop. We're going to have to edit this now.
Okay, but no. It's not like y'all are drinking. You're like, we gotta keep going. Like, yeah.
Anyway, Alan died in 2003, And he worked for ODOT, which when he had passed away, they named the highway after him up by the Tuscarawas County Sheriff's Department. Which is odd because Susan's records have
Everything, evidence
misplaced.
of everything. Everything was misplaced and never heard of.
But then Alan works for the state.
And when he died, they named a road after him. So he had to have been important to Tuscarawas County for him to basically get away with murder.
Yeah, and that poor baby grew up without his mother.
Yep.
And nobody can give answers. Susan's parents, James and Judy Wolff, they have no answers to what happened to their daughter. I can't imagine one of my children coming up missing and not having any answers. And
they did see a judge in 2014 to have Susan declared dead because they thought that she was in hiding, but she never came out of hiding.
And you would think if she was in hiding after Alan passed away,
she would have
came out. I mean, her son's here.
And if Alan didn't have anything to do with it, then who did have something to do with it? Was she involved in drugs? You know, and she was trying to get sober and clean.
Yeah, and rumors are that the parish boys threatened her son, so then she ran off.
And went into hiding.
So nothing happened to her son. But this is all hearsay. None of this are facts. Stop it, Dustin.
And why didn't she have custody of her son? That's what the hell I want to know.
Well, it is said that she was a homemaker the whole relationship of her and Alan's, and when they split up, he had told the judge that he was afraid she wouldn't be able to support herself, let alone her son. So the son granted her temporary custody of Damon until Susan could prove to herself, which she was living with her parents. They said that they would help her out so she didn't have to get on the welfare assistance.
Mm-hmm.
And then she had been briefly working at the IGA, the hometown IGA. So.
Yep. Oh, and she also had a second job, too. She had a couple shifts at the Thompson Pharmacy.
That wasn't together?
Hmm?
The Thompson Pharmacy and Thompson and IGA wasn't together?
It was some kind of pharmacy. I don't know if it was a Thompson Pharmacy.
Because the IGA used to be called Thompson's IGA, and that's where she had worked. So.
Now, it's sad that even so to this day that the parishes are like murderers and they're like hardcore badass. The same with the Hanshaws and everything too. Like, all these people are supposed to be scared of these people.
They're not scary.
No.
Not at all.
No.
We're from this town. I can't see any of them honestly being capable. At least the ones that I know. Maybe the ones back then were scarier, but not the ones now.
Right. So, I don't think that they would have killed anybody. Now, I do believe that they could have been hired to kill Susan and they told Susan to leave. Because there was a bus driver who said a year later he's seen Susan.
Right.
And he picked her up in Cleveland and dropped her off in Newcomerstown, and she asked to be dropped off at a filling station. And he says no, that he couldn't do it. So he dropped her off at the bus station, but that was not confirmed. And then,
however, that's where Patrick worked, was the filling station. But like we said earlier, he passed away 2 weeks after her disappearance. So, what if they said, look, we're supposed to kill you, but we don't want to kill you. So you need to get out of town and don't come back. That way your son stays safe.
Yep.
Okay. So Did Alan get mad because he found out that she wasn't dead?
And
that's why he
kills
killed him?
them? It could be.
I mean,
because everyone
they
says
ran off the road.
but there was no evidence.
On the backside of Midvale, I believe.
Yes. But there was no evidence to prove that they was ran off the road. But there
no evidence. But yet he works for the state, ODOT.
Yeah. And mind you, this is the same man who, when he passed away in 2003, they named a
highway.
Street. Yeah, a highway after him.
Yeah.
So he must have been very important to the people in Tuscarawas County and have some connections, because if I would die, they wouldn't name a street after me. And everybody loves me. Everyone knows me. And Brittany, they all know Brittany Shay Mitchell. Don't come after us, Hanshaw boys. We're scared.
Our family, they're not coming after us. Well, anyway. This is our first YouTube video of Munching with the Mitchells.
We'll probably have to remake it. But this has been fun. It's only 11 minutes long. I think that we need to have at least...
Kendall Ray's aren't very long.
Huh?
Kendall Ray's videos aren't very long.
They're like an hour long on YouTube.
Not on Facebook.
They're not on Facebook, but on YouTube they are. Ain't they, babe?
Yeah, so... You know, as a mother, you get your feelings and gut feelings, and I believe that Mrs. Wolff, her gut's probably on point.
Yeah. I feel sorry for the family that they don't have
closure.
Yes. That's something I feel really strongly like any mother would want closure for their child, for themselves, you know. Rather if they find her remains, or if they just, if she is still in hiding. I mean,
son,
she's declared dead, so maybe.
And then her son, you know, was my mom murdered, or did she just abandon me? You can feel two different, like, how's he supposed to feel?
Because
you know, he could be mourning his mother's loss and think she's dead, and then she could just show up. And I mean, that would be amazing if she did just show up.
Just so we could get answers. And if anybody in the Tuscarawas area or anywhere knows anything about
the Susan Wolff Cappel
story, call the police, let them know.
The local sheriff's department at 330-339-2000.
You can tell what ornament she's attracted to. She remember that shit, don't she? But anyway, now that we got that over with, we're going to tell y'all what this is about. Like, we just sit around and we talk about movies. Or not.
Unsolved Mysteries of Tuscarawas County. And eventually,
we're going to, like, go in
to different stories that catch our attention.
Yeah.
But this story has always got my attention. I've always been interested in it, and I will listen to any old folk that wants to talk about it.
Like our brother was named after Lonnie Joe Hanshaw,
which was sadly in the car accident with the two parish boys.
Mm-hmm. So we're wondering if he had anything to do with it.
Yeah.
I mean, my mama part of them.
Did he have anything?
My mama was a hoe. I'm just kidding. I love Mom.
Children, don't disrespect your mom like that.
Brittany's like, I think you got our moms mixed up.
Dusty! My mama is not a hoe.
Y'all can't see what she's going to be under the chip. No, this is what the channel is about. This is what I want. This is what we want. We want to sit here and be able to joke about our family, talk about cases like these. We want y'all to drop a comment down below, like this video, subscribe to our channel if you want to see more episodes about this stuff. Comment and tell us what you think happened to Susan, or let us know a case that you're interested in that you want us to look into and everything, because then we will.
And like we said, this is all stories that we've heard over the last 30 years. And we do want to send our sympathy to Susan's family, but also the Parrish boys and Lonnie's family as well.
We hope that everyone finds closures, because not just one life was lost, there was 4 lives lost. And that, like, I feel like Alan killed 4 people and he got away with murder.
And then they named a highway after him.
Yeah. Like, what did he have on other people? Because you just don't get that kind of rank for just being alive. Like, you had to have, like, some kind of blackmail on somebody or something. Like, was Dennison, what's that drug dealer's name? El Capo? No. El Cappuccino.
El Cappuccino? No, bro. El Cappuccino.
El Cappuccino.
Nigga be geeked
Sounds like
up.
coffee.
El Cappuccino. Huh?
He used to make monthly and yearly
Airplane drops.
Yeah, but he used to come to Dennison all the time because one of my coworkers' grandma used to house him, and her grandma was Italian. I was about to say she was a hoe, but I don't know.
Listen,
Everybody's
everybody's a hoe. Everybody's a hoe.
And I'm admitting it. I am telling everybody's secret here on Munching with the Mitchells, so don't tell me your secrets unless you want to be known.
They're completely sober, y'all.
No,
No, we're not.
what if? I mean,
There's so many possibilities.
yeah, like, what if?
Okay, but say Alan didn't have anything to do with it, then how the hell did his wife die? And where did she go in that blue car that the Parrish boys own? Was she having an affair with the Parrish boys?
Or did she get into some kind of drug ring or something?
Sex trafficking?
There's so many possibilities, and, we don't want to say that things that's happening now happened back then, but it happened more back then. I think that it did. It just wasn't talked about as much as it's talked about now.
I mean, and we honestly didn't know any of these people personal, so we don't know.
Because all this happened before we was born.
And, these people, Susan could have been a whole, she might not have, been into drugs, but you don't know. Sometimes people are into drugs and their family don't even know.
Exactly. And a lot of people, when they pass away, their family don't want to say anything that they've done wrong. They only want to say the positive and the good in them people. And we're not saying that she had anything bad with her or anything like that, but if somebody, like, in obituaries and stuff, like, if Brittany would die tomorrow, everyone would say all the good about her, but nobody would say, oh, she was such a bitch, dude. Like, she was mean to everybody. They don't say that stuff. They're like, oh, she was the sweetest woman in the world, and this and that. No, and damn good well she wasn't, like, so they're called family secrets for a reason.
So, I mean, but at the same time, like, those secrets could honestly help narrow down
who it was and why it happened.
So, did she go into hiding? Did she come back a month later and have a conversation with Alan? And then, did she come back again a year later? But if she had came back a month after she disappeared, she would have already known that Patrick and Rick had passed away. So why would she need to go to the filling station that Patrick worked at?
Exactly. I think those people who said that, Alan paid them off. to say, just so that would be one body that they didn't have to.
It wasn't connected to them. Because he
Or-
already got away with the car accident.
with the
Perfect
3
setup.
homicides, you know, and then everyone was like, oh, it's, you know, it's so close, like, somebody killed Susan, and then now these people who killed Susan's dead. Why is this like this? You know, so then I think Alan got scared and was like, he paid people to say, oh, Susan's not dead, so maybe the Parrish boys just, like, ran off the road because they was drunk. You know? Maybe that's why he did what he did. So he didn't have to think, so other people didn't think that the cases were connected.
Yes, I think that he very much so had something to do with the disappearance of Susan because they were, in fact, going through a custody battle for Damon.
Yes.
And their court hearing was approaching extra quickly because of cancellations and whatnot.
And you know, back in them days, too, like, and even still now, you still have a lot of judges that's mother's rights.
Oh, yes. Ohio is
Like, it's
said to be a
very
mother's
hard to prove a mother unfit. So how did Alan prove that Susan was unfit other than that she was not financially stable? Because she had a place to live with her parents. She had her own room. Her parents had their own room. And the baby, Damon, had his own room. So that doesn't make any sense to me because I know a lot of people who still has their kids and they're living with their parents or living with their brother or their sister or somebody.
Everyone falls on hard times.
Yes.
That should not be a reason that you shouldn't have your children.
So I think that there was something said, like Alan could have paid off the judge so he got custody of the kid, and then like maybe
and again, he worked for ODOT. I mean,
Yes.
I know ODOT is the highways and the roads and stuff, but, I mean, what, 20, 30 years ago? Or 40 years ago, actually, we don't know how close those things were ran together. And the fact that her files and all the evidence that they had to support this case just mysteriously disappeared, got misplaced. I'm sorry. I would not have that
if they
I
got
was a parent.
misplaced, they would have found them. Like, they would have misplaced them in the evidence room and not been able to find them. They would have been able to find them. Them things did not get legs and walk away. Like, somebody had to go in there and remove them. And you have to sign things out. So who signed it out? Who was the last person to sign Susan's stuff out? And if nobody signed Susan's stuff out, who was the last person or who were the people there in that room, in the evidence room, to have misplaced it?
Exactly.
There's a lot to think about.
And, you know, I wanted to mention that Gilmore does have a lot of caves. You know, there's plenty of places that a body could just
disappear. And it is nothing but farm, too. So, like,
woods, farmland, royal...
like, pigs and everything. Like, it would be so easy to take somebody out there, chop them up, feed them to the damn hogs, throw them in the bottom of the lake. The Devil's Den out there.
There's rumors that she possibly could be at the Devil's Den. There's a lake down there. There's caves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
there's so many places in
there's
Tuscarawas
a lot of
County
what
that
ifs.
you could hide a body. And nobody would ever know because this is such a rural area.
But if she's not dead, come back. Give your
on.
parents some closure.
Let your family know, or if she wasn't hiding and she passed away and you know who, and you have her secret, somebody contact the sheriff's department because you won't be the one in trouble, or try to contact her son or on Facebook or somebody. Leave us a message, you know, be anonymous and we'll tell her family. Like, just her parents. And if you are a mother or you are a father and you know this stuff and you're withholding information, think about if that was your child. And think about how you would feel 16 years later. It's like, what? It's been 30, almost over 30, like almost 40 years.
It's been 40 years, dude.
Yeah, and they're
So-
still missing their daughter. Her son is still missing his mom. Like that. That's heartbreaking. I mean, I don't even know. That it's
Susan would be 59 years old right now. So she's just a few years older than what my parents are.
and you can find out more about this on Unsolved Mysteries on Tuscarawas.
Of
in Tu-
Tuscarawas
of
County.
Tuscarawas County.
There's all kinds of information online. It's not just the hoax that we're talking about. Susan Cappel Wolff is seriously a missing person. But like we said, in 2014, the courts did
Declare her deceased on her parents' behalf because they figured after Alan died in 2003 that she would come out of hiding, and she didn't. So they,
You know, and then there's another thing. What if the parish boys, I mean, you don't know. What if they beat her so good that she had memory loss and they took her to another state and she woke up and she don't know who she is or where she's at? You don't know.
and
Crazy things like that happen.
And back in them days, like, there wasn't computers and stuff to where, like, you can go from one state to another, and there's a system that has all your information in there. So maybe she is in, like, a
like we said, she had no ID, no money. She had several paychecks that she hadn't even cashed yet because she was saving up for her own apartment.
Yes.
So, you know, she disappeared. What if she did really? But then again, story has it, she's made 2 appearances back in Ohio. But again, if you're going to come back
You're
that
gonna see
soon
your son.
after you came back, you're going to come back again after you find out that your ex-husband is dead and find your family.
Yes, you're gonna find your mom. You're gonna find your son. And, you know, she left because she wanted to protect her son. She would have came back for her son when his father passed away. So, and we just think that maybe she might have been into hiding, and she could have passed away when she was in hiding, and nobody knows anything about her.
All right, well, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on Munchin' with the Mitchells.
See ya!
See ya!